Hey, thanks for checking out today's video. We're going to be talking about 5. That's 5, or is it 5? Anyway, we're going to be doing 5 quickie little accessory add-ons that will add a little bit more usefulness, maybe a little easier to use on a daily basis, but they're really simple, quick, nothing to them, but they are nice to have. So without further ado, let's get to it. Here we have the blind spot mirrors, or as I used to call them, the old man mirrors. And then I realized, hey, wait a minute, I'm an old man. Anyway, they are helpful. You can see the side of the truck, and if you've got tires that stick out a little more, it's just a lot easier to see the side of your truck. And stranger than true, the backup camera and the backup sensors have a blind spot. This fills that in. And as far as the vehicle blind spot monitoring, well, you know what? If that sensor fails, this is a really cheap option. Well, I shouldn't say an option. It's just a cheap, easy to use backup. The mirrors won't fail. And here we have the phone mount. It uses 3M tape to stick anywhere. I just put it here on the that trim piece, and we'll show you a video here in a second. It's right there, easy to see, and it's not really in the way of your vision going down the road. And you can also see we've got the dash cover, the dash mat. In the bright Arizona sun, these are really handy to keep the reflection from bouncing off of the dash and onto the windshield. And the Tacoma dash is pretty flat except for the instrument panel hump, but it just sit right on there. It came rolled up, you unroll it, it sits out there for a day, and it flattens up. I don't have any tape holding it in place, and even the cutout for the light sensor, it doesn't block that sensor without the tape. So again, a real easy install. Same with, let's take a look at how this phone mount works in action. And as you can see, it's just barely above the hood, so it works out really good. Almost a heads-up display. You really don't even have to turn your head. You barely have to move your eyes, and you can check out what the display is telling you. So that's why I like this phone mount. It's perfect for my use. You might not see it in the bright sun, but there's also a speed indication on the top of that app. So it's a little backup to your speedometer. And you may notice there's almost no glare, if at all, and the sun is shining right in through the windshield. That's why I like the dash mat. And you can see, even on the bumpy road, and my bumpy driveway, the end of my over quarter of a mile unpaved, unmaintained road, you can see as the truck bounces around, the camera bounces around, but the phone mount, the phone stays steady. For quickie number 4, we got these little bed rail slide-in hooks for tie downs. Now, some of you folks that are more familiar with Tacomas than I am, maybe you can tell me, but I was given the impression that it was supposed to come with these slick little plastic sliders in there for the bed rail system. But you see, I've got the factory tonneau cover, and I'd heard maybe, just maybe, they weren't included with the factory tonneau cover. But I found these on Amazon. They're definitely real easy to install. And when it comes to having these little tie-down rings, I'd rather have them and not need them than not need, well, you know what I meant. I'd rather, we'll edit this out in post. I'd rather have them and not need them than need them and not have them. And now, let's look at quickie number 5. So yeah, the concept of a composite bed is probably a really good idea, But if you've owned your Taco for any length of time, you'll find out just how slippery that bed can be. So a simple little bed mat solves a lot of that slipperiness problem. Now, this is not a Toyota bed mat, and I'm good with that. Oh, there's one thing before I go into that, I should tell you that the instructions that came with this guy, and it came rolled up in a tube, and you set it outside, and it flattened itself right out, no problem, slid right in there. But the instructions tell you to, oh dear, screw it to the bed, lest it fly out. Well, I'm not worried about it flying out for the same reason. It ain't no big deal that it doesn't have Tacoma on the bed mat itself. And I think you know why. So correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure with the tonneau cover shut, the tailgate up, that bed mat's not going anywhere. And if I'm carrying a load, that bed mat's not going anywhere. So to have it say Tacoma, it says Taco, it says Toyota, it says Tacoma in a lot of spots. So I think I'm good with that. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. And Tacoma parking only.